So when you look at that now, though, you had this thought that we're looking at on the screen, how hobbies and passions
Yeah.
connect to manufacturing. What does that look like for you?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Oh, here we go.
Had no clue this was going to come up. So I am a big dinosaur and Godzilla guy. And so one thing that I really like is the different action figures. And I was looking at them and I was like, wait a minute. That's the same mold that's getting used over and over and over again. And it's just repaints. And I was like, huh, okay. So if you have like one mold of Godzilla, and with Godzilla, you can have 7 different repaints, that mold is going to pay off for itself incredibly quickly.
As long as people like it and they buy it.
Yeah, right? So that's going to pay off for itself incredibly quickly. And then you can use that money to make a new mold for a new action figure. And then through that one, you can also make different repaints for different things that it has. And I was looking, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And like, okay, so if you want to improve the joints, how do you do that? Do you have to change all of it, or do you have to change like just the arm joint? Like if you want to put better articulation in the elbow, right? Do you have to change the whole arm, or do you just have to change like the bicep and the forearm? How does that work?
Sure.
And so like now that's been something I've been getting into and looking at more is when a new action figure comes out and like a whole new mold is created, I go, oh, they're definitely going to make more of that.
Yeah.
Or like, ooh, how did they make that? That's really cool. And yeah, like through that's opened my eyes. I'm like, this is really cool. Like this is fascinating. Yeah.
And one of the things that's fun is when you look at, like, you get a toy or you're looking at it in the store, whether it's whatever action figure it is, you're inspecting the paint, you're inspecting like to make sure the seams are there, make sure there's no flash, make sure that it's the right one. That's the one you want. You want the most perfect one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the quality matters to you.
Yes.
And all the things. I mean, you're not buying the cheapo action figures though. So
No.
there's that.
No, like it's yeah, I'm not buying the cheapo one. So like it's weird when you get like one and a joint is loose and you go, well, how'd that get messed up?
Yeah.
Did that get messed up through them putting it together, or did that get messed up through the actual manufacturing of it? Because if it would get messed up through the manufacturing, then it would be messed up on all of them or most of them. And then you look at some toys. There was one recently, the Hammond Collection Giganotosaurus. That one had a lot of quality control issues. And so a lot of problems would get through with like paint on the face, extra paint, different parts getting put on backwards. And
Was this a known thing? Like, were people talking about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like people would pre-order it, and so you couldn't like pick it out.
Ah.
And so they just ship it out pre-ordered. And then you'd get it and you'd be like, what the heck? This sucks. My arm's on backwards. This is so dumb. And recently at San Diego Comic-Con, this company, SH Monster Arts, showed off their Godzilla stuff. And a lot of people are nitpicking on, not nitpicking, because I mean, it's $150 action figure. It should look good.
You should make sure that it looks good for $150
yeah.
action
And
figure.
so like a lot of the things aren't done right or well enough. Like paint's not there. Like I saw one thing that, this is back to Jurassic World, that a leg was put on upside down. So you had the calf connecting to the knee. No, you had the calf connecting to the ankle and the ankle connecting to the knee on one leg, and the other leg was normal. And like, how are you going to take this and show this off at a convention center
as your best product?
Yeah. And like, if that's your best,
yeah,
then shoot, I'm definitely not going to buy this.
Right.
And so like that whole aspect of like, okay, well, how did this go wrong? How does this get better? And then looking at it and going, wait a minute, all these different action figures, if this is the same mold, that's going to need to get work done. That's going to need to get repaired and get all that stuff. And so, like, that has been my interest. And so now my eyes have been open and like I'm looking at more things with it,
Yeah.
which has been super interesting.
I remember when you were a kid and you loved dinosaurs, and maybe you remember this. You were frustrated with the seams and the joints in all the dinosaurs. And you would say, like, that's not what a real animal would look like. You can't
Hmm.
see the seams and the joints. And so
Yeah.
you wanted to develop a
Oh yeah.
toy that had like an endoskeleton
Yeah. It's skin on it.
and then had a
Yep.
skin on it so that you couldn't see it.
Hmm.
I think that's a fascinating idea. I don't know how you do it. If anybody knows and they want to talk about that, let's figure out how to make dinosaur toys with the actual, you can't, or whatever animal it is, where you can't see the joints and the seams and
I
the
think Hot Toys does a really good job at it.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know how they do it, but they do a really good job. And you
Okay.
see some action figures where it's like clothes on and like you can't see the joints at all.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Well, because
But
they
then
have
again, those
clothes on.
scare me because you can't see the joints.
And it's like a real thing.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, can this go past here or no? Ooh, scares me
I
a little
see.
bit.
You
So
don't want to break.
yeah. So I think that's why they get shown in some
Okay.
cases. So you can see the tolerances.
Well, plus it's also easier to do that than trying to come up with a way to make skin.
Well,
Hey there. Thanks for watching the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. If you liked what you saw, click here to watch the full interview. Or you can click our channel link here. But either way, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. That's it for now. Take care and God bless.